Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep and unraveling the incredible world of fashion.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Why'd you pick out the clothes you're wearing right now? Seriously. Was it for comfort? Did you have a big meeting? Or maybe you just wanted to, express yourself? Whatever the reason, that simple choice connects you to one of the most powerful forces in our entire culture.
See, what you're wearing isn't just clothing. It's an active part of this huge global system of meaning, production, and identity. And that system? Yeah, we call it fashion. All right, so let's dig in. To really get what this system is all about, we have to make a super important distinction. We've got to separate the actual clothes on our backs from the big idea of fashion itself. So here's the deal. Fashion isn't the t-shirt. Nope. It's the whole system around the t-shirt that makes it cool right now. Think of it like a shared language that lets us tell the world who we are or who we want to be without ever having to say a single word.
And this slide really breaks it down. The ancient Greeks, right, they had two words for time. You've got chronos, which is just, regular clock time. Tick-tock, that's where clothing lives. But then there's kairos. That's the opportune moment, the right time. And that's where fashion lives. It's the secret sauce that makes a pair of jeans from today feel totally different from a pair made 10 years ago, even if they're practically identical.
And that idea of kairos, of the right moment, well, it creates this constant need for newness. That's the engine driving this whole thing. The sociologist Pierre Bourdieu totally nailed it when he said fashion is all about the latest difference. It's just this relentless, nonstop cycle of change.
Okay, quick vocab lesson so we're all on the same page. A trend, super fleeting. Think of that one color that's suddenly everywhere for like a few months and then it's gone. A style has more staying power. Think punk or preppy. It's tied to a whole cultural vibe. And haute couture, well, that's the absolute pinnacle. The one-of-a-kind, handcrafted stuff that's pure art. But it eventually influences everything we wear.
So we've established that fashion is always about what's next. But what's actually powering that engine? Why is it always moving? And more importantly, why does that jacket you were obsessed with last year suddenly feel kind of old?
This crazy, frantic pace, it's actually pretty new. For hundreds of years, change was super slow, but you can see the speed up right here on this timeline. Western fashion kind of starts way back in the 14th century. Then boom, 1858, you get the first real fashion house. The 1960s opened the floodgates with mass market stuff. And then the 2000s, fast fashion hits, and the whole system just goes into absolute hyperdrive.
And here's the thing, none of this change is random. Not at all. It's a mirror reflecting our world. It's driven by basic social stuff, like wanting to fit in but also stand out. It's shaped by powerful political figures who become style icons. It explodes out of big cultural moments, like the protest movements of the 60s. And now? Well, technology just pours gasoline on the fire, spreading trends around the world in a blink. Okay, so how does a big idea, like a political feeling in the air or some new tech, how does that actually become the shirt you can go out and buy? Well, it's all thanks to a massive, and I mean massive, global machine. Think about any piece of clothing you own. Every single one went on this incredible journey through 4 main stages. First, you've got the raw materials, literally, cotton in a field. Second, production. That's where it gets designed and actually made. Third, retail. That's the whole process of getting it into a store. And finally, stage 4, promotion. That's all the ads and the social media that make you want it in the first place. And this whole process is globalization 101. Seriously, a company might be based in the US, but they're getting their fabric from China, the clothes are being stitched together in Vietnam, and then they're sold in stores from London to Tokyo. It is a truly global interconnected web. But there's a flip side. This incredible global machine, especially since fast fashion took over, comes with a cost. A really, really high cost. And it's one you won't see on the price tag. Get ready for this number. 100 billion. That's not a typo. 100 billion new garments are consumed globally every single year. It's an absolutely mind-boggling number. And it's all because the trend cycle has shrunk from seasons down to like a few weeks. So, what happens to all that stuff? Where does it all go? Well, this is where the story takes a really dark turn. A jaw-dropping 85% of all our clothes just end up in a landfill. The system is basically a one-way street. We take resources, we make something, and then we just throw it away.
Let's just sit with that for a second because it's just wild. Less than 1%, not 10%, not 5%, less than 1% of all the material that goes into making clothes gets recycled back into new clothes. It is an unbelievably wasteful system.
And it's not just about the trash piling up. The impact goes way deeper. You've got pesticides for growing cotton, toxic dyes for coloring fabrics. It all adds up. The textile industry is actually the second biggest polluter of local freshwater on the entire planet. That's our drinking water.
Okay, I know that sounds incredibly grim. And it is. But it's not the end of the story. Because the very same system that created all these problems is also starting to generate some really powerful answers. So the big question is, can we actually change it?
And the answer seems to be yes. We're seeing this amazing rise in what you could call fashion activism. You have designers turning their runway shows into political protests, you've got social media movements popping up demanding more unity and inclusion, and you have these really powerful counter-movements like slow fashion that are basically questioning the whole foundation of the system, asking, do we really need new stuff every single week?
It really feels like the entire industry is at a major crossroads. The old way of doing things is being seriously challenged by new tech, by people like you and me demanding more sustainable options, and by a growing sense of social responsibility. The whole story of what fashion is and what it could be is literally being rewritten right now.
And that brings us all the way back to the beginning. Back to you. Back to that choice you made this morning. Because as this whole system evolves, the question isn't just, what am I going to wear today? It's becoming, what do my clothes say about what I believe in? The power to really change this whole machine? Ultimately, it starts with us.
And that's our look at the world of fashion. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and we'll catch you on the next one.